What's going on, YouTube? Just wanted to do a quick rundown of about 4 months in living with the Maxpedition Falcon 3 backpack. This pack is, like I said, about 4 or 5 months old to me. I had a couple of smaller Maxpedition setups and they just weren't quite what made sense for my daily use, my EDC. So I'm going to quickly take you through what I use this for, how I use it, and what's inside to a certain degree. Before I get started, I'm just going to actually put it on to show you what it looks like. So I am about 6'3", 230 pounds, and give you a second to see what it looks like. So it's a good size bag. It's probably about the size of like a larger school bag. And right now mine is pretty compressed. I have the upper straps compressed a bit and the Y strap as well. So really quickly about the general design of the pack and how it carries. This is probably one area where I think this pack is actually, the reason I'm going to keep it and use it for a long time is because of the way it carries. I'm used to ultralight hiking packs and packs that are generally designed to fit really well and are loaded to fit really well. For an EDC pack, you really never have the chance to load it in the way you would like a proper backpacking pack. You can get a backpacking pack with almost no frame to ride really well because of the way you can pack it. And you're generally not accessing the contents most of the time. Like you're just reaching in for snacks or like a little bit of gear here and there, like clothes changes. But for the most part, your sleeping bag, your tent, your cook kit and everything tends to stay in the pack, and you can kind of pack it for the day and it rides really comfortable. For EDC pack, you don't get to do that. You pretty much set what you have in it, but you're constantly changing and loading some of the heaviest parts of the pack, like what goes in the main compartment. So the size of the pack is kind of always changing. And it's never really packed full, which is even bigger difference. Because it's never really packed full, you don't get to take advantage of like creating pressure in the pack. So you're relying on the pack itself to do the work of feeling comfortable with almost any size load. So the Maxpedition, this pack does a really good job of that. Even though it has basically no frame whatsoever, it's very, very soft. I added a little frame into it. I'll show you what I did. I think it helps. But it has the load lifters here, which do help pull the pack into you. It has the Y strap, which really basically takes the whole pack and pulls it towards you again. Side compression straps, which do the same, and then the lower straps. I really don't use these. I have them kind of folded in and tucked away. I might even cut them off in the future. They're really not useful for me, but they're great for stashing and storing stuff, so I probably won't ever bring myself to taking them off. But because this is an EDC pack, I've removed the waist belt. It has a nice 1.5 inch webbing waist belt, which I actually find to be pretty amazing for load transfer, and I really like that size waist belt. But I've removed it. Again, EDC pack, I don't need it dangling off me, and I've removed the sternum strap for the same reason. This is about 15, 18 pounds, depending on how much water I have in it. So it's not heavy, but it's not light. And without the waist belt, without the sternum strap, it carries great. I've done 2-hour hikes with it and really been happy to have it on my back. So carries great. I'm a taller guy. I'm really happy with it. I think it'd probably fit anyone between 5'10" and about 6'3", 6'4" really well. If you're taller or shorter than that, probably be okay, but probably not the best pack for like, 5'6" or under. So I'll give you a look at what I have inside here and how I use it daily. Like I said, the Y strap is great. I usually don't buckle it. It usually just stays folded back here, but the grab handle is also excellent. Really where this pack comes into its own over almost any other pack is going to be in the second compartment, the sort of the Velcro based one. I'll get to that in a second. I'll show you the first couple of compartments. So the top compartment is the most used stuff I have, and it has almost nothing in it because I want what's in it to be able to get in and out quickly. So all I have in here is my daily scheduler, a couple of hauls, cough drops, and I happen to have this reflective band for for the winter for walking on the streets. But my schedule and my phone usually goes in here too. Occasionally I'll put 1 or 2 other things in there, but that's about it. Has very clear purpose and is easy to get to, and it keeps the pack from getting super top heavy. This pocket is probably like my lesser used stuff, but still pretty organized. So this usually isn't in here, but this is what it looks like normal. I didn't do anything to prep for this video. So I have iPhone charging cable, USB cable, a big power block, charging block, some cordage. Deep in there I have like a rag, some more cordage. I have a tape measure. I'm a contractor, so this is kind of oriented around my daily use. I have some pens, a toothbrush, a spoon, just a little thing for holding loose screws and stuff. So that's usually all that's in here. I actually have one more thing. I have this little pack. This has a bunch of small stuff. It has a knife sharpener, a glue stick, really good tweezers for pulling out splinters. I've got some duct tape. I've got some pencil lead, some Q-tips, a micro screwdriver, and a few other small things, including a hex key in here for optics. For optics adjustment, the way I have the hex key set up, I actually put a bunch of tape on it so that tiny little hex key can't get lost, but I have it with me at the range. So basically I build the kit when I find that there are things that I really do need and would be nice to have and I don't. I add something to the kit. If I never use it, it gets taken away. So something that will probably get taken away soon is, what was it? There was something in here. Yeah, this little thing, probably not going to be used. The same thing goes for, well actually that's probably it. That's probably it. I have a toothbrush. I don't use it as much as I could, but it's in there. Also at the bottom, you can't really see it, but I have a small piece of wood that I put in the bottom. You can see that tan wood down there, just to give the front of the bag a bit more shape. So again, stuff that I want to get to quickly, but is not necessarily, like, I don't need it instantly like this pocket is. I have a little glow tag on one of them too. It's pretty nice. And again, the most significant pocket is going to be this one, and this is the one that I have the most design and thought put into. So most of the time, the way this pocket gets used is just like this. It gets captured by the side buckles, and what I have is a really, really well organized, kind of like a mini tool backpack here. This is really why I chose the Falcon 3 over any other pack. It has the hook and loop on both the front and the back. And then I basically used Maxpedition like stick-on pouches. You get them in a really good bargain when you buy a bunch of them. So these were like $7 each, and they're pretty good. So I have a bunch of different tools in here. I use orange tape or whatever tape just to make it easier to get to stuff. But I'll go through really quickly what I have in here. I just want to note too, I have another pouch. It's a zipper pouch from Maxpedition as well, which has even more stuff in it. This pouch is mostly my audio and headphone stuff, and I'll go through that in a second too. But really good quality headlamp from Phoenix. I actually have my trauma stuff available really quickly. So right here is a cat tourniquet, and inside there as well is some quick clot and stuff. I'll open the bag up more so you can see all that stuff in a second, but first aid kit is really easily accessible. My trauma stuff, I have a little fixed blade knife, which is also just Velcroed to the sheath, so that goes right in there. Whistle, bit kit, micro driver, mini trauma shears, cigar cutter. I have some giant zip ties, some smaller zip ties, some wire, a piece of sandpaper, Sharpie, small thing of super glue. Actually, you gotta check this out. It has a brush and a nozzle. Highly recommend. The little brush is super useful for applying super glue without making a mess. And then I have a nail clipper, a small utility blade, a lighter, and then a nice pair of small needle nose pliers. I carry a Knipex on my waist, but sometimes the needle nose is really helpful, and it has a cutter as well. So really nice little pair of pliers for like 12 bucks, made in Japan. Yeah, so that's about it in there. And then in my little audio kit, I have actually a micro first aid kit. I had a deeper first aid kit in here, I'll show you that, but this has Band-Aids, alcohol swabs. So just for quick cuts during the day, really easy to get to. I also have a micro Bluetooth DAC, which I can plug any headphones into, and I get wireless headphones out of anything. So I also have my hearing protection headphones, a backup pair of iPhone headphones, and I also have some more hearing protection, a little tube. It just has some earplugs in it. So that's like all my hearing protection kind of in one spot. So that's usually how I use the bag. What I'm going to show you is unbuckle, and you can pull the whole pouch basically completely open. So this gives you a little bit better look at the first aid kit. You can see it there. It's a little bit dark, but I've got some quick clot as well. Like I said, just a couple things of quick clot, and the cat tourniquet with a Sharpie for time marking. So deeper in the pack, which I rarely access, is my deeper first aid kit. This is just another pouch from Maxpedition. I bought a bunch of this stuff when I could get it on sale in discounts. All this was like 50%. So in here I just have some deeper stuff, alcohol prep pads, larger gauze. Open the clamshell up, and I've got some gloves. I've actually got some toilet paper in here, $100 bill, some more gloves. Let's see what else, some more gauze, and then I've got an Israeli bandage, and then a small pills container, which is actually got a bunch of different stuff available. So some hydration tablets, Tums, Advil, kid stuff, decongestant, anti-diarrheal, etc. So I don't really use this much. I have Advil lots of other places in my life, but very useful, easy to get to, and it's nice and compact. And that just jams right down in there. This gets zipped up and then buckled back, and then the headphones, the headlamp stays right in there. So that's how it usually rides. And then the final pocket, which is the back pocket. Show you in a second. There you go. Got a carabiner on the outside. This actually fits in my truck in the passenger seat and clips on to another piece of cordage I have in there. Prevents the bag from tipping over when it rides in my truck next to me. It basically gives me like a little mobile command center. So you'll imagine I'm sitting in my truck driving. It's right next to me. I can access the pockets with one hand really easily and get to my phone, my schedule, whatever. So, main pocket of the pack usually is where my water bottle rides. It's a 40-ounce Camelback water bottle that just sits in there. I can easily get two more water bottles. I could fit 3 Nalgene's in here across, no problem. I'll open this whole thing up in a second, so might as well. So the organization in this back panel, it has a mesh pouch here, which just usually has my pad, a couple pencils and a pad for work stuff. I have some cut resistant gloves, which I use all the time. It's winter here, so it's cold. Bandana. Deep in the pack, I have a small titanium cup, and actually, believe it or not, it has a stove, a mini stove, and a small canister, so I can make a cup of tea or coffee with this if I want. Honestly, I don't really use this very much. It might get removed, but it weighs almost nothing, and I have used it, and it's quite nice to get a warm drink sometimes when you're out for a hike. So I keep it in there for now. It also has a small baggie with some tea. I've got like some emergency powder and stuff. I usually have a couple of bars in here too, like Cliff Bars or something. Right now I just have a thing of protein powder, so I usually keep a small amount of backup food in here. And then I have this pouch, again, another one of those pouches from Maxpedition for 50% off. I've actually cut the handles off of it to make it slimmer. And this just has some clothing. So just backup clothing really. It has an emergency poncho, which is like reflective. It has a regular hat, just a winter hat, a buff, and like a really lightweight windbreaker. So between the windbreaker, the buff, the hat, and the poncho, it's not like I'm gonna get a whole lot of warmth out of it, but it's definitely better than nothing. And just to be clear, this is not like a survival-oriented pack. I just wanted to have some daily stuff in there that was useful, so I take this on a plane or a train. I have a little bit of warmth and a little bit of protection if I need it. I have the belt jammed into the bottom there in case for any reason, mainly just to try it out. I haven't really found that I've wanted it, but this will get removed too if I don't use it for the next 6 months. So I only have really 1 or 2 more things left in here in the back pouch, which is set up for like a hydration bladder. So I have this little sit pad, weighs like 1 ounce. It's pretty crappy. It's like $10 on Amazon, but it's good for kneeling, good for sitting, adds some warmth, and it adds some structure to the back pad, which as you can see is basically zero structure. It's pretty cushioned, it has some good foam, but it doesn't have any structure on its own, which for a pack of this size probably doesn't make sense, but I actually appreciate it because it allows you to customize the pack to your needs. So This little piece of foam adds enough structure without making it too stiff. But you definitely could add like a piece of corrugated plastic or even like thin wood with some foam to make an even better back pad if you wanted, transfer more load, etc. But because I'm not using a waist belt, load transfer doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. So there's one more thing in here, and it's just a Tyvek sheet. It's actually roofing paper, but it's like the plastic roofing paper. It's just like a 4 foot by 4 foot ground sheet. So, you know, I ever have to like, can use it for like a little rain shelter, but moreover, it's more like you're having a picnic somewhere and you want to like protect from the ground. That's great if you have to like do some work on wet grass or something. So one of those things I won't use frequently. It's also can act as for me an impromptu drop cloth if I need to do some flooring protection. Again, really haven't used this. I thought it was a good idea, but if I don't use it over the next couple months, it'll just get removed. So I'll load these couple things back in. I think that's about all I needed to say. Just wanted to give you guys a look through the pack. But again, I think it carries great, which is kind of the first thing. Even if you're only using it to and from your car, you kind of want to have a pack that you don't mind wearing and just really feels comfortable. I had a Typhoon, which was smaller, way smaller and a lot lighter than this, and I thought it carried extremely poorly. So even though it was lighter and smaller, I didn't want to put it on my back. It just didn't go onto my back smoothly. It was annoying. It felt way too small. Just didn't feel right. So yeah, so that's the Maxpedition Falcon 3 backpack. That's really the end of the video. I'm just going to zip everything up here and then stop it. But thanks for watching. Any questions, ask in the comments. And hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of the week.